Rancho Los Amigos National Rehabilitation Center provides care for 3,600 inpatients and 70,000 outpatients annually. Part of the therapeutic program for some of those patients includes creating pieces of art, art to help the patient's recovery, and art for others to view and even purchase. I'm your host, Rachel Bozing. Welcome to My County, the show that explores services and programs provided to you by Los Angeles County. Joining me today is Debbie Tomlinson, the Director of Volunteer and Support Services for Rancho Los Amigos National Rehabilitation Center. Debbie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Rancho is known for having great rehabilitative therapies, and art is a part of that. Tell me how art helps a patient's recovery.
The art program was developed to be a therapeutic program for the patients. The patients, it helps them to give them greater self-esteem by being able to create an art piece and starting from beginning to end and seeing the outcomes of it.
Yes.
Also, the hand-eye coordination that it teaches them. It teaches them the different mediums that can be used, whether it be the acrylics, oils, it could be pencil, it could be pen and ink, whichever. So they kind of pick and choose and explore on their own the different mediums.
Now, we have 70,000 outpatients there and about 3,600 inpatients. How does somebody get directed to you, and then what happens? Walk me through that process.
It usually happens through their inpatient stay there at the hospital.
Okay.
The therapists and the nursing staff are really good about noticing patients that have an interest in the arts, and once they do find that, then they will contact me, and either I can go out and visit the patient, or the patient will come to my office. I have an office that looks quite like a little art gallery so that they can kind of visually see the type of art that is done by our patients there. I usually ask them to bring some samples of what they're working on, and then we kind of take it from there, and then I explain what happens all throughout the year. I encourage them to bring their pieces in periodically so we can take a look.
Okay.
We also photograph their artwork and keep it on file and see their progress and all.
And you have a art showing that is usually the first week or so in November.
That's correct.
That is specifically the art of Rancho, and this is an opportunity for the artists to show their work, but to sell it as well. Tell me about that and kind of the history of that.
Okay, exactly. We've been doing the show now for over a dozen years, and it basically is a two-day show. Okay, it's a formal evening affair. It starts off with, and the artists get all dressed up, and they're very excited. Hundreds of people attend this event. It's where they can sell their artwork and all. We debut our new artists each year. We usually have between 5 and 10 new artists that join the program. So we'll debut their artwork there, and it's really a fun program.
Now, I know you mentioned that last year you had more than 50 artists showing their work, more than 1,000 pieces, and in fact the book, The Art of Rancho, from that, has a piece on the cover that is by a new patient. Tell me a little bit about him and what brought him to Rancho and kind of painting style.
Okay. The cover piece was done by Jose Moreno, and as you mentioned, he was one of our new patients at the hospital, and this was the first time ever that one of the new kids on the block, I should say, were able to have the cover of the book. He was very, very excited about it. Jose was with us. He received a spinal cord injury in an auto accident, and so he did his rehabilitation with us. And at the time, he was an artist before, and he continued. We encouraged him to continue his artwork, which he did, and he produced.
He made a beautiful piece.
The piece is amazing. He actually sold it at the show.
Ooh.
One of our doctors bought it for $1,500.
That's great.
His feet still haven't touched ground. He's so excited about that.
Yeah, it must be very validating for the patients to not only show it, but then also to sell it to someone who says, I think it's really valuable. I know that there's another woman, Ann Ruth, she paints in a particular way. So tell me about that.
Annie was one of our first artists with the Art of Rancho program. And she's been a long-time patient of Rancho. When she was 5 years old, she had a gymnastics accident, and she became a spinal cord injury with the same type of injury as Christopher Reeves.
Gotcha.
So she took up mouse stick painting, and so she does her artwork with mouse sticks.
And how does that work? Are they literally with the paintbrush in their mouth, or is there something different?
Well, some of the mouse stick painters do it both ways. Some will actually put the brush in their mouth and paint with the brush.
Right.
Annie uses a mouse stick, which the brush attaches to the end of.
Oh, okay.
And she's able to be back a little ways and be able to paint on the canvas. So she's very, very talented.
Fascinating. And Steve Clay.
Steve Clay. Now, Steve Clay was actually, goes back to the day one of the Art of Rancho program, and actually helped with the planning of it all. Steve was a professional illustrator in Chicago when he sustained a massive stroke. And he was right-handed, and the stroke affected his right side.
Gotcha.
So he came to us after he became stabilized, and we rehabilitated him and trained him and encouraged him to use his left hand.
Wow.
So he learned to paint with his left hand, and all during his therapy, he actually gained back his right side, and so now he paints with both.
Bravo. I
Yes.
actually want to give that a
Yes.
standing ovation. Before we leave, I know that you now have adults mentoring kids. Tell me the name of the program and what it is before we leave.
We have 4 years ago, we did the Don Kanabe
Yep.
Pediatric Arts Program, and it's funded by Supervisor Kanabe, and we have 4 of our graduate artists, we call them, who come in and mentor and teach the classes. And the kids, we've had about several of them now graduate from the pediatric program on up to the adult program.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here, Debbie. Now, if people want to learn more about this program or to learn, how they can get tickets to the art show, what do they need to do?
Well, they can call me at area code 562-401-7651, or they can go online at rancho.org to obtain the information.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Debbie. I really appreciate you being here and showing us these fabulous pieces. And be sure to join us next time right here on My County to learn more about the programs and services provided to you by Los Angeles County.